This is the story of a poor young girl who sold matches in the street. This story took place a long, long time ago on a New Year's Eve. It was snowing heavily, and it was severely cold outside. In the cold and the darkness, there walked along the street a poor little girl. She had no extra clothes to cover herself from the cold. And she had no shoes to save her feet from the freezing cold. She had slippers on when she left home, but they were much too large for her feet. They were her mother's slippers. She sold matches for a living. That day, she left home to sell matches on the street as usual.
Oh God, it is snowing heavily. It is too cold today. What will I do? If I don't go to sell matches, my family will not be able to buy food.
She decided to brave the cold and sell matches. She was just about to cross the street when a horse carriage sped towards her. She was scared, and she ran across the street to save herself. She had lost both her slippers while she was running.
Oh, my slippers. I need them. My legs are getting cold.
She was just about to cross the street when a boy grabbed her slippers and ran away with them.
Hey, stop. Those are my slippers.
But the boy didn't. He ran away. So the little girl continued walking with her bare feet. Her feet had turned blue in the chilling cold.
My leg. They are paining. Oh, it's so cold today.
In an old apron that she wore, she had bundles of matches, and she also carried a bundle in her hand. She sat a corner in the street and waited for customers to buy matches from her. She waited for a long time, but no one came to her. She never lost her hope and continued to wait for customers. It was snowing heavily now. The poor little girl was shivering with cold and hunger. The snowflakes fell on her long hair, and she wiped it off of her shoulders. She smelled a roasted goose being cooked at a nearby house.
People are celebrating today, but there's nothing to eat at my house. God, please help me to sell some matchsticks.
The little match girl then continued to wait for a customer.
Oh God, please help me to sell these matches. I also want to buy a goose for my family.
She tried keeping her little feet underneath herself to cover from the cold, but that was of no use. She wanted to go home because of the cold, but then what would she tell her family? Her father would definitely be angry at her if she returned home without any money in hand. She looked around at the beautiful mansions in the street. She thought about her home. It had only a roof above, and that too was full of holes. Her little hands were nearly frozen with cold now.
I can light a match to warm my fingers.
So at last, she drew one match out and struck it. It gave out a warm, bright flame like a little candle, and she held her hands over it. The fire warmed her fingers.
Oh, it feels so good. I'm getting better now.
But once the flame went out, she started feeling the cold again. So she rubbed another match against the wall It burned brightly. Then a miracle happened. She could see through the wall where the light of the match fell. She could see what was going on inside the house. She was being pushed into the world of fantasy. She could see everything in that room. There was a white cloth spread on the table, and there were some nice plates arranged on top of it. A stuffed roasted goose was placed at the center, and it had a delicious smell. Then she saw something she couldn't believe. The goose jumped from the dish with a knife and fork still in its breast, and it ran straight towards the little girl. But the match went out, and everything vanished quickly. Then she lit another match. This time, she saw another fantasy. She was under the most beautiful Christmas tree, larger and far more prettily decorated than the one she had so far. She was fascinated by that Christmas tree. She walked forward and stretched out her hands to touch them, but then the match went out. Then she struck another match. This time, she saw a long trail of light in the sky.
Huh? It looks like a star has fallen from the heavens. It seems someone is going to die tonight.
It was her grandmother who told her that if a star falls from the sky, then someone will definitely die to send the soul back to heaven. She struck another match against the wall. In the brightness, she saw her dear old grandmother. She loved her grandmother a lot. Her grandmother always showered her with love and kindness. She moved the light to the front and saw the smiling face of her grandmother. She was so happy to see her grandma right there. Then she started crying.
Oh, dear Grandma, please take me with you. I know you will go away when the match burns out. You too will vanish, like the New Year's feast and the beautiful Christmas tree.
The little match girl didn't want her grandmother to leave. She knew that her grandmother will vanish when the light burns out. So this time, she lit the whole matchsticks together. The match burned a shining light. Grandmother then came close to the little girl. She looked at her with compassion. She took the little girl in her arms and flew up into the sky. They flew far above the earth, away from cold and hunger, to the heavens. The next morning, people gathered around the dead body of the little match girl. She was frozen to death the previous night. Her body was leaning against the wall with a smiling face. People wondered how could anyone die with a smiling face? But no one could imagine the beautiful things she had seen, or how happily she had gone with her grandmother into the heavens.